Hey everybody. Oh my gosh, this is going to be absolutely amazing. We are in full on gear for the Do the Thing Future of Leadership People Party Palooza event. And I have Yanik Silver with me, who is one of the people that helped me birth this whole entire new marketplace, new ecosystem, new world that we are creating and Do the Thing. And, it's because of his wisdom and mentorship. It really helped bring it to life in such a powerful way. And so, Yannick, I'm so excited to have you be kicking this off with me, both in the Palooza and then also with this dare that we're about to give the group.
I love it. Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely very near and dear to my heart. I love this idea of $1 billion of impact and what does that look like? And especially when you look at it from an exponential, aspect, right? Because so many of us are like, how am I gonna make $1 billion of impact? And it's not just on you, but it's about the leverage and the multiplication that you can have.
Yeah, and it's something that you have been leading the way, in this for years with between the communities that you've created, birthed, people consulted, millions of dollars that you've raised with the work that you've been doing at Necker Island, with Sir Richard Branson, to all the people that you've been involved with. And now to have you kind of like sharing your vision of like 1,000 suns and us being able to like unite that with $1 billion impact while we're hosting this event. It's really just like what could be possible during this week to get everyone to be thinking differently, open up our minds and our hearts to like what potentially could we do with our voices in this world now.
Right. Well, the vision of 1,000 suns, lighting 1,000 suns, came to me about 13 years ago or so, and it really became the North Star of what I'm meant to be doing. And I really look at it as not my vision, but this idea of like how can you become, first of all, your own biggest, brightest, most illuminated sun? Because what does a sun do? It can't help but radiate, shine on every being, right? Every aspect. It doesn't just be like, oh, I'm not going to shine over here. It shines everywhere. And so when you're lit up as a sun fully, then you can't help but shine. And then lighting other suns, right? It's not just a light lighting another light, but how do we light those others as suns so they can become universe creators, so they can become bigger multipliers, bigger visionaries, bigger leaders. And I had this aspect of like, all right, it's not about how many followers you have, but how many other leaders are you helping create? Because that's where we get that ripple of impact, the ROI, like we've talked about, and that's where the $1 billion of impact comes from, because it's going to come from these leverage of 1,000 suns, lighting 1,000 suns. That's a million, suns out there, and then another 1,000 equals a billion. And that's how we bring light to every category, every sector, every industry, every organization in the world, that exponential light.
And this is what I'm so excited about, like having these conversations, during the week is how can we really unite together around this and be able to, like see who we get to meet, be introduced to, be connected to, start to see people in like the real way, not just this like kind of, what is it? The mask that we like to wear sometimes when
Right.
we're out in the world. How do we have fun and yet have the freedom to play and experiment? And that's what I love about getting to kick this off with you, because we both play in that space. And when you're able to experiment and you're not having any like attachment to an outcome of what things look like or how they should be, now we get to make real change because we're not going to wait forever to put something out there. We're actually putting it out there now.
Yeah, and you're so good at this. It's like you don't, you're just such a quick action taker, and you're like, all right, I have the idea, we're going to do it, and then see what happens. And that's why I love experiments too, right? The experiments are the thing that are magical, because we're not, like you said, the results. You're going to get a result, and you're going to get data, you're going to get information, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to do more of it, or I'm going to do maybe less of it. But it's a beautiful way of thinking about what's going to happen.
So good. And so my vision is I want to unite millions of people and communities around shared goals to create $1 billion of impact. And I just feel like this future of leadership event, the People Party Palooza, is the thing that's going to help people like understand that vision and how do we work together and stop operating in a silo, right? How do we get our community, our platform, our voice to not be wanting to do that individually? Because some of the people we work with like have huge communities, but they're still operating in a silo. Now how do we unite together, and bring this 1,000 suns, bring this $1 billion impact together and really like really do something really cool together and make a difference?
Yeah, I look at what, this Thousand Sons vision to me is kind of open source, right? Like it's not my Thousand Sons. It's not, even yours. It's like I had one of my friends, he kind of got it a couple years ago. He's one of my best friends. He's like, dude, and he's also this incredible entrepreneur. He's like, oh, I get it. He's like, I want to light some suns. I thought it was just Yannick's thing. And he's like, no, I want to go light some. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been telling you. It's like, it's all of us. So whatever that looks like, right? Because everyone's going to have a different version of what that means for them. And it could be a version of you 5 years ago or 10 years ago and lighting that person up as a sun. It could be, who do you want to become a hero to? Who is an organization or a group that you want to really, really help them achieve their goals and get bigger and bigger. So it's all going to vary based on whatever you want to do in the world. And it could change as you evolve as well.
Yeah, I love it. And so, in true do the thing fashion, we thought it'd be fun to give you a dare because the dare is what's going to help us really activate around the goal that we're doing in the Future of Leadership event. And you'll be able to meet some people also and get to know them in different ways. And this is where we get to be real and messy because, it's just not fun when you like know what you're going to say in every moment. When you're able to kind of like act from the deepest, kind of like the deepest levels of like who we are, and we get to feel that aliveness and knowing that we're trying to do good and we're with people that want to do good also, we're able to do that. So we thought the great dare for you would be, what does the future of leadership look like to you? And so when you answer this question, really tap into like what Yannick said, like what, you could go back into what would you want to share with that version of yourself 10 years ago? How do you want to light these thousand suns? How do you want to create $1 billion of impact? And so the future of leadership could be anything from I want to be more human. I want to get into more AI. I want to be able to teach myself something that I didn't know beforehand. And there's so much power in being able to ask yourself that question, especially as we're experiencing this event.
Yeah, and I'll echo what you said, Stacy, and allow it to just come forth, not have your prepared answer that maybe that you spout off typically, but really dig in with your heart and see what was it feel like. And then that way those authentic connections within the group are going to come in a deeper way as well. And because the mask is off, it's like just allow yourself to just share. So what's the future of leadership look like to you? Is that the question? Or that's the
Yeah,
dare.
that's the
Okay.
dare. And feel free
Okay.
to share kind of like what comes up for you as we're asking that question. Yannick, for you, like what does the future of leadership look like for you?
Hmm. It looks like for me, it looks like tapping into like this really integrated, aligned aspect of every part of yourself. So not just
Mm.
what, maybe bouncing off of what I said before, not what just sounds right or seems like the answer that the quote unquote the teacher wants to hear, but what as, I talk a lot about like aligning your head, your heart, your higher purpose, and even your happy inner child. But so bringing all of that together, like to me, the most interesting people, especially the most interesting leaders to me, is that they have a very practical part of themselves. Like most of the people I work with are entrepreneurs and hang out with, so they have that practical business side, but then they also have a foot in another element. Usually, it's that spiritual side, and so bringing it all together. So they've probably gone through a journey of ceremonial work or tapping into original earth wisdom or even cosmic consciousness or who knows what that looks like for them. Each person has their own individual journey, but then not getting lost in that part, but bringing it back together and bringing it back to yourself to how do you want to serve the world. And so that to me is the future of leadership, is bringing all parts of ourselves and also adding that weird part of yourself, like not hiding the weird parts and maybe amplifying those parts.
I love that because like when we get out of the our way, of like caring what people think or wondering, and then all of a sudden then we're like holding ourselves back, whereas the future of leadership is us showing who we are so
Yeah.
that we can like really step in the power of like what we're here to do in the world.
Yeah, it's like that polished version, it gets tiring to hold that up because
Yes.
that's a bit of a facade, right? But if you're that true, real you, then you don't have to be thinking about, okay, what do I need? How do I need to show up today? It's like this is who I am.
Right.
And also allowing yourself to evolve. Like the people that I really respect the most are those that, like I was listening to an interview yesterday on a very long drive that we had, and it was this amazing woman who kind of like looked at things that she was that she took as gospel around, in her case, it was about veganism. And she's like, well, there's these things that don't make sense. You know, she's been a vegan for, I think, like 20 years at that point. And she's like, well, this doesn't make sense because there is aspects of death and animal death involved in, you know, all these other parts. So then it like opened up a crack to this part and this part. And so as you evolve, being okay, being like, all right, well, this is what I believe now, or and at my level of ignorance, essentially. There's a guy that I really love. His name was Itzhak Bentov, who not as well known, but he would write all the time. He'd like, you know, this is what I know from my level of ignorance right now. And he was always open to like, all right, I'm going to keep evolving and keep learning something new. And I think that to me is the future of leadership as well, is not just showing up as the guru that here's what I know and here, follow me, but you know, I'm going to continue evolving. And then the other part is I love this aspect of like going together. So the old version was guru, everyone here is the followers, but how do we bring in, yeah, do it together so it feels like a journey. And maybe it's not just one person, but more of a council energy as well. So several things are popping up for me.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you are like totally getting the energy of like what we're about to have everyone experience. It's so fun. And so that you guys know the dare, if this is your first dare that you've done, we have comfort circles and do the thing. And this is how I run all the do the thing challenges is basically getting people to go from where they are right now. And so we'll just do a couple of these just so you see. But basically, you can respond to this answer by typing the answer. So just like what Yannick did, where he shared the future of leadership, you could just type it, or you could audio record it. And so you just hit the audio button, or you could video it. And then I think we're going to be doing on this on WhatsApp. So there's this little fun little live button where you like even have a little circle on there. Feel free to do that as well. And then you just send it off. Those other circles are for down the road where you could go live in your community or you could do a people party. But for now, basically, what is the future of leadership? Type your answer, audio record your answer, video, or do that little live thing inside of the group. But it's
I
going to be
love it.
fun. Isn't this
It's
fun?
going to be fun. Yes, perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Imagine like all the things that could be, kind of like realized as we're like tapping into what is the future of leadership and like really getting ready for this event. So. All right, Yannick, thank you
Love
so
it.
much.
Thanks,
And
Stacy.
I dare you, what is the future of leadership? Do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it.